welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Bentud, and we're going to go over how to set up account-based marketing, otherwise known as ABM. If you're not familiar with what account-based marketing is, I personally think it's one of the most legendary marketing plays or lead generation plays you can use to sign not just any clients, but extremely high-ticket clients, or not even high-ticket clients, but ideal high-ticket clients. And I just want to give you a full disclosure before I even get into this video. I'm not the best person to learn account-based marketing from, but this will be a good introduction to you if you don't really know account-based marketing. We're about to run our first, what they would call a pilot, and basically the first test for our agency using account-based marketing. So I can't tell you that we've used this and signed X amount of clients or whatever, but based on how our agency has been currently signing clients, this is going to basically be putting like jet fuel onto the fire, and it's basically putting together everything our agency does into one nice consolidated lead generation marketing package slash tactic or strategy to be able to go after the ideal clients that we want to sign. So the whole purpose of account-based marketing is to go after a certain amount of like accounts, basically. So you are hand selecting the clients or accounts that you want to work with, and then you're relentlessly pursuing them and marketing after them, and trying to engage this account so that they, eventually become a customer of yours. And it's very different from demand generation or any other form of lead gen system, because with this one you're picking like 100, sometimes even just 5, 100, or even 1,000 accounts that you want to work with, and you're going after them. You're not going after anybody else. You're going after just specifically them. And so, this is very different to like running Facebook ads or running LinkedIn ads and just targeting an interest, which would be more of like demand generation type thing. So this is great because you can sign ideal clients that you know that you'd absolutely crush it with. And that is the purpose of this video, is to show you how to build a basic strategy around that. We're about to launch our account-based marketing play probably in the next 2 to 4 weeks. It's been like 2 months leading up to this of planning and different stuff. So putting together everything I know and packaging it into this video for you. So step 1 is running a pilot. Now a pilot is just a test, an account-based marketing test. And the first, or I guess the 6 steps that you need to really go through when running a pilot is, first of all, you need to identify your ideal account profile, okay? So the ideal account profile is pretty much like your customer avatar, except on the account level. We're not trying to define the person or the human being that you're going after. We're trying to define the account, right? Because what we want to do is we want to go after ideal accounts. Let's just say hypothetically you're going to target 100 ideal accounts. Again, we're not really trying to find out the customer profile or the avatar of one person. We're more trying to define, what does an ideal account look like? Okay, what are the traits or characteristics of an ideal account? So first you need to identify an ideal account. For us in our agency, we have really defined this. I've really dove into all the data, all the clients we've signed in the last 4 years, the clients that we could have signed that we didn't sign, all the clients who booked a call with us that didn't close. I've looked at all the accounts, and I've looked at our best accounts, our worst accounts, and I've seen what is the ideal account profile, and we've really tried to define this. Once you've got that defined, then you want to define or identify your ideal customer profile. So it's a little bit different, because what you have is, within an account, you're going to have multiple contacts within that account that could open up an opportunity for a deal to happen, okay? So let's just say I'm going after, a good example, I don't know, let's just say I'm going after like Gatorade. I want to work with that company, that they're on my target 100 list of accounts that we want to sign as a client. So Gatorade is a massive company, thousands upon thousands of employees, I'm assuming, I don't know for sure. But the point is that within all of these employees, there's only going to be a handful of people that could really open up the opportunity for us and Gatorade to work together. And so defining or identifying your ideal customer profile, or profiles, plural, is really just the decision makers or the deal influencers or the deal blockers within this account that you need to convince or get engaged with your content or with your service to be able to even open up the chance and the possibility for an opportunity. So again, this is defining the ideal account. Let's just assume that based on our ideal account profile, Gatorade is like the perfect client. Great. The next thing is, who are the people within Gatorade that could open up a deal for us? It could be the CEO. It doesn't have to be the CEO. It doesn't have to be the owner or the founder. It could just be the CMO. It could just be the e-commerce director. It could just be the CFO. It could just be like somebody who's the director of HR. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be the absolute top level person like the CEO or the owner or the founder. But it helps if you get them on board, obviously, because they're at the very top. Usually it is close to the CEO. For a large company like Gatorade, it would probably not be the CEO if our agency was going after them. But the point is that you're defining 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 people within the company that are deal influencers, people that need to be engaged in order to open up an opportunity to land a deal. The next thing you do, once you have these two things, you need to build a list. Okay, so a list of accounts and contacts. So for us right now, we are in the process of finishing our list. We're going to be targeting 100 accounts, okay? Our goal is to close at least 5 to 10% in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. We haven't exactly defined the time frame, but we know the minimum is 5%. Pushing the limit would be at 10%, etc. And so we're going after 100 accounts, okay? It's common with account-based marketing to even have like 1 or 2 sales reps who go after just like a handful of accounts, like 5 accounts. But again, the more laser focused you get, the bigger the deal has to be worth, okay? So for us, we're going after 100 accounts. Each account has to be worth a minimum of $5,000 per month, ideally between $10,000 to $15,000 per month. That would be great. And again, if you're going to do account-based marketing, you shouldn't be going after accounts that are only going to be worth $1,000 to $2,000 a month, or $2,000 to $3,000 project, or even $4,000 project. You want them to be worth a huge dollar amount or a huge lifetime value ticket, etc., because it's going to take you a long period of time to be able to convince these people to work with you, since they are more higher profile, higher ticket accounts. So we're building the list, and we're not only building the list of 100 contacts, but or 100 accounts, but each account has 3 to 5 to 10 to even 15 contacts within that account that we're going to be going after one-on-one with custom content and advertising and different things. So you have a list of 100 accounts, but in reality you have between 500 to 1,500 actual contacts and people that you're going to be going after. So again, this thing gets really big very quickly, especially if you're going after 100 accounts. Okay, so after you've got the list built, you got the accounts, you got the contacts, then what you want to do is build the buyer journey. And some people, they will build the buyer journey before they even go after these things. I think that's a bit of a mistake, because the buyer journey is dependent on the accounts that you're going after. But the buyer journey is essentially the journey that you're going to take each of these 100 accounts on, okay? So what we're planning to build some form of 6 to 12 month content and basically content and value buyer journey that we're going to take each of these accounts on. Now, to give you an example, like a basic journey might look like this. Okay, you have a target account. The first touch point is you're going to send a cold package, like a physical package, cold mail, physical lumpy mail package, to 2 or 3 of the executives in the company as an introduction, with a gift, a custom gift based on their personality, their likes and dislikes, or whatever it is. And that a gift that actually provides value, and it's interesting, it's engaging, it's unique. It makes them feel like it's personal, it's one-on-one. And this is just a way to open up the door to get this account from no engagement, like no awareness of who we are, to aware of who we are. So the first touch point is just, let's just say, lumpy mail to executives. And then 2 or 3 days later, we follow up with an email to the executives, and we say, hey, John, just wanted to check in and make sure you got our package. Blah, blah, blah. I'd love to hop on a 10, 15-minute call and just discuss potential opportunity with us working together and what our agency could do for you guys, or something along those lines. That's the second touch point. The third touch point is you connect with the director of e-commerce, the director of operations, the COO, the CMO. You connect with all of the people within their company on LinkedIn, across multiple people within your agency, to try to build more awareness. The fourth touch point might be like a custom blog post that you make. It could even be a private event that you're hosting, like a breakfast, a strategy mastermind type breakfast, where you're basically you're giving a free breakfast to, inviting a bunch of executives from your ideal accounts to a breakfast and basically trying to give them value and understanding of what it is your service can do to provide more value, or whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. There's millions of different ways you can go about engaging and contacting the contacts within your ideal account. The point is that in stage 4, you need to build a journey. You need to build like a strategic play, if you will, like in football, how there's different plays. In soccer as well, there's different plays. You're building this journey or this play that you're going to take them on over the next 6 to 12 months, okay? So this is a difficult process. I could make a whole video on this process right here. Again, if you want to research more into it, I would just Google account-based marketing, building a buyer journey. There's lots of companies like Engagio is a phenomenal company. The co-founder of Marketo left Marketo and actually built Engagio, which is an account-based marketing software. Their software is like $30,000 or $40,000 a year. So, and they're amazing at what they do. I highly recommend checking out their blog post. After you've got the buyer journey built and you have an idea on how you're going to contact and go after these companies to take them from no engagement to aware and engaged, then what you want to do is you want to, of course, launch and deliver account-specific interactions. So you've now planned everything, and now it's time to launch and actually execute this play, execute this strategy and this buyer journey that you're going to take them on, whether that's sending them physical mail, sending them links to custom blog posts specific for their company, sending them custom one-on-one messages on LinkedIn, custom one-on-one personalized emails, literally phoning up the executives. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is that step 5 is the execution, the launch, and making sure that every account is in order and getting executed on the journey that they need to be taken on. Number 6 is measuring the account progress. So with any form of marketing you do, there's a classic quote, which is what gets managed gets measured, or what gets measured gets managed. I think that is the second one. And so you're going to be managing this, and you're going to be, of course, needing to measure the progress. And how do you do that? Well, this was a very interesting thing that I was curious about too. So when it comes to measuring the progress of your account, it comes down to 2 things, which is really just engagement and then marketing qualified account. But engagement is the primary metric that you're really aiming for. So this is kind of the basic high-level funnel that you take an account through when you're executing your account-based marketing strategy. The whole goal of it is to take them through this funnel, and this is a very basic level funnel. There's ones that are way more specific and in depth, but this one's just very basic. At the top, you have no engagement. So before you launch your account-based marketing strategy, what you're going to have is pretty much 100 accounts who probably don't know who you are. Now, if some of them know who you are already, that's great, but most of them probably are going to have no engagement. They don't even know who you are. They're completely unaware of you. So they're starting here at the top of the funnel. Now, obviously, when you launch your account-based marketing strategy, you're going to get them aware of your service and your company and how you can potentially help them. So you want to move them through into the second stage of the funnel, which is the awareness stage, okay? And then if you've built an account-based marketing play that is effective, it delivers actual value to the company that you're trying to reach out to, you have a good system, then what will happen is over time, it might not happen immediately, it may happen in 1 to even 6 to even 8 to 12 months. What will happen is there will reach a critical level of engagement where this account that you're going after will become a marketing qualified account. Now, what that essentially means is that this account has hit a critical level of engagement, and you really need to, at this point, once they hit this level of engagement, you need to have somebody like calling an executive or reaching out with an email or messaging an executive or somebody that's a key deal opener and try to get them on the phone and open up an actual opportunity for your company to do an audit on their company and actually open up a deal, okay? So once they become marketing qualified account, again, which is them hitting a critical level of engagement, which I'll talk about in a second because it's difficult to gauge, how do you even track if an account hits this? That was my number one question before we were going to launch this thing, and I'll talk about some tools and different tracking systems that you can use to be able to understand when an account is really engaged with your content or account-based marketing plays that you're making. But anyways, once they have hit this level, if you've done your job properly, it will open up an opportunity. An opportunity would basically mean, hey, you have a phone call with the CMO of the company, and you convince the CMO to sign an NDA and do an audit on their account to be able to tell them a forecast or whatever it is on how much you think you can increase their sales or how much your service could be of benefit to them. And if you open up that opportunity, then that's the point where you're going to develop the relationship and then eventually pitch your services and your pricing. And hopefully, if you've done your job correctly, again, they will close and they will become your client. So this is the basic funnel that you're taking them through. But one of the most interesting things is how do you track engagement? So Engageo.com is a website or a software. It's really expensive. It costs $30,000, $40,000 a year. We don't have the type of resources to just drop 40 grand on a pilot. Again, keep in mind, we've never really run this test yet, so we don't want to just drop 6 figures before we even prove if this thing's going to work. So what I found was a couple of different tools that are really good. There's one called Lead Feeder, which will tell you if someone, it'll tell you the exact person that is on your website and basically the company that they're from, the position that they have within the company, and a variety of different other demographics, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a simple tool that leverages Google Analytics. It's $50 a month. You can plug it in, and it'll basically tell you that how many people within a certain company are engaging on your website or visiting pages within your website, which is really, really, really cool. And this is important to be able to measure the engagement levels, because obviously if you don't have some form of analytics tracking tool to measure that this CMO from this target account spent 6 minutes on this custom blog post that you wrote, or this CMO from this target account visited 18 pages on your website in the last 24 hours, that's when you start understanding that, oh shit, this person's hitting a critical level of engagement. We need to reach out to this person. If they've spent half an hour on our website yesterday, they were super engaged, and this person is a decision maker, we need to reach out immediately because this person has hit critical level of engagement. So Lead Feeder is a good tool. Engageo is a very expensive, it's probably one of the best tools that you could buy. Another amazing tool that we're looking into is a variety of different platforms that offer people-based advertising, which is very interesting. So people-based advertising is where you can target actual humans and individuals at the face level. It's some next level stuff. And not only do they tell you, not only do they allow you to target people at the face level, but they can tell you the exact person. If you're targeting John Doe at Gatorade, he's the CMO of Gatorade, you can target him and show ads to him that drive him to a custom blog post, and they will tell you how many impressions he was served, how many times he clicked on the ad, how long he spent on the landing page, and how many other pages he visited in that journey to your website, and how much time he spent on your website total. So I really like that, because there's very few tools that offer that kind of measurement. HubSpot has their own form of tracking, but you need to have your whole website hosted on HubSpot's CMS platform, which I really dislike because we're currently set up on a different platform and we don't want to transition. So we're debating on using a people-based advertising solution or platform to be able to have that level of tracking. And of course, Lead Feeder, which is a very simple $15 a month plus Google Analytics, as 3 cheaper alternatives opposed to a variety of the other different softwares, which are extremely expensive. So a few other things before wrapping this up. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go about building an account-based marketing buyer journey, but some of the core things to keep in mind is just, this buyer journey that you're taking every account on should really strengthen the relationship between the account that you're going after and your brand, okay? It should not be something that weakens the relationship. It should not be something that in any way keeps the relationship neutral. No matter what journey you're building, it's gonna be something that makes that account associate your brand as being extremely positive and increases the relationship and the engagement between you guys, okay? Even if they decide not to work with you and they tell you, hey, we appreciate everything you're doing and making all this custom content and sending us all these personalized gifts and whatever, but really seriously, we don't need your help right now. We already have an amazing agency, but we appreciate what you're doing. that's fine. Okay, you can put them on the back burner for 6 months and then just forget about them for a while. That's okay. But the point is that it's not going to be something where they're going to get pissed off and they're going to call you and they're going to tell you, hey, stop freaking messaging me, stop freaking targeting me with advertising. It's not something to piss them off. And believe me, I've tested some lead gen systems that piss people off, and the CMO has actually called us and they've said, hey, please stop doing this. Like, tell me about your service. I'm happy to consider it, but like, you got to stop doing this. And even though it opened up some opportunities, it was like a negative first impression. And so again, the account-based marketing, whatever you're doing, it should be personalized content / messaging. It should be valuable, and it should really resonate based on their current situation. Again, you should have done some research on this account to make sure that your service is actually something that can really help them. So from here, another basic thing to understand is that, again, you can start out by targeting 5 accounts, 100 accounts, 1,000 accounts. Us personally, being the size that our agency is at, I really feel like we're going to start off with like, and get the best pilot at around 100 target accounts. This way, if we only close 5%, even if we just closed 5% of the accounts in 12 months, I would be extremely happy, because these accounts are worth at least bare minimum $5,000 per month, but ideally $10,000 to $15,000 per month, and our average lifetime value of a client right now is sitting at around 18 months. To even 24 months. So we know that if we sign somebody, they're going to be worth at least potentially $250,000 on the on the mid-level and like $160,000 on the low end. So even if we do sign just like 3 or 4 accounts for the year, we're happy, because that's an additional potentially almost $1 million in revenue from just one pilot / marketing play. Okay. Now what happens is the smaller your list, the larger the deal size and the longer the sales cycle. So we're expecting that if we're going to target 100 accounts and the retainers aren't that much, between $5,000 to $15,000 per month, that the sales cycle is probably going to be between 6 to 24 months. I really doubt it's going to be 24 months, but we're prepared to go that far. We're trying to think as long-term as we possibly can here. I really believe it's going to be between 3 to 9 months in terms of the deal cycle, potentially even as soon as like 1 to 2 months for the accounts that are on the lower end at $5,000 per month. Okay, but I don't know how to go about executing 1,000 plus account target list. It's a different ball game, and you really should do your research on list sizes and how that impacts your buyer journey and everything else, because again, I could make a whole nother video talking about that. So do some external research yourself. But for this purpose of this video, I was really specializing around this. All of this stuff fits perfectly if you're going to go and build a pilot and target 100 accounts. So again, the last thing is that the main thing you're measuring is engagement. You're not trying to like just open up a deal. You're trying to get them aware of who you are and engaged with your content and provide value to them, so that they can understand really just how valuable working with you might really be. And if you do it well, you should be able to eventually turn an account from no engagement to being a marketing qualified account, to then open up an opportunity. And the final principle that I really like, based on my research, and I took a couple courses on account-based marketing from a variety of different experts. There's not that many, it's a very small field. But one basic principle I found was do things that don't scale. And I really like that, because typically for myself, I'm constantly thinking like, how do we automate this? How do we automate that? How do we make this as efficient as possible? But when you're doing account-based marketing, you're building a 100 account list target, 100 target account list. It's the complete opposite of what I'm really used to. And it's really, hey, you need to do things that don't scale. Spending 20, 30 minutes researching into the life of a CEO or into the life of the CMO in one of the target accounts, and then figuring out what the best cold physical mail gift to send him would be, that's not very scalable. And you know what? You just need to be okay with doing that and spending that time there. And you need to understand that this is a long-term play with the goal of having highly personalized messaging and content is what's going to create engagement, and it's really going to build a relationship between your brand and, of course, their brand. But not really brand relationship, more so the relationship with you, whoever it is reaching out to the person that is receiving the message. And of course, if that interaction is positive, then they're going to associate your brand or your agency as being, a positive agency as well. So with all that being said, this was a high-level video walking through account-based marketing, and I'm probably going to make a video in 6 to 12 months from now talking about the results of our 100 account target account list pilot that we're going to run. I'm looking forward to potentially telling you that we signed 10, 15 clients, and it's the greatest marketing campaign we've ever run. Again, this isn't going to be the only thing we're doing. It's going to be one of the things that we're heavily focusing on trying to master over the next 18 months, because I really, really like this approach, because it's not like your typical lead gen system. It's more of a very strategic system that has long-term thinking, and it's focused on laser, like sniper rifle approach, going after only the best accounts. And I think if you're really trying to think long-term about the growth of your agency, the happiness of the employees in your agency, the happiness of your clients, and the positive association with your brand, and becoming one of the biggest brands in your space, really it comes down to working with the best clients and having the best employees who are also happy dealing with the best clients. And so I look at account-based marketing and think to myself, this is fantastic. We can target ideal accounts and sign ideal accounts. Nothing else would really make me happier than that. So I'll keep you posted on how this goes in the next few months. I'll definitely make a video updating our progress and our performance. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you kind of an idea in terms of another marketing player or different lead gen methodology that you can use or that you can test. And if you had any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Again, keep in mind, I'm not like an expert. We're about to launch our first pilot. That's where my knowledge level and my experience is with account-based marketing. But this was really just a high-level video to open up your mind to account-based marketing, and I really feel like it's going to be becoming extremely popular over the next coming years. And if you even look at the Google trend on the keyword account-based marketing, in the last 4 years, it's just like absolutely skyrocketed, and it's to no surprise given that nowadays everything is extremely automated and very the complete opposite of personalized. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it valuable. Feel free to click that subscribe button below and drop me a comment if you had any questions. Again, if you wanted help potentially scaling your agency, I wouldn't be able to help you with this because I'm not an expert at it, but there's a lot of other lead gen systems that I could potentially help you with. And if you wanted help with that, check out taylorbenteru.com. It's just my first name, last name. I'll put a link in the description. But nonetheless, I'll see you next Monday with a new video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.